What if everything you worked for was taken from you by the one person who said, "I love you" every single day? Stay with me, because this story will change the way you see pain forever.
Maya Collins was not supposed to make it. Born in a small house on the east side of Nashville, Tennessee. Single mom, 2 jobs. Macaroni and cheese 3 nights a week. The kind of childhood where you learn real fast that nobody is coming to save you. But Maya had a gift. She could write, not just write, feel through words. Her high school English teacher, Mrs. Patterson, once held up Maya's essay in front of the whole class and said, "This girl is going to make people cry for the right reasons one day." Maya never forgot that. She went to Belmont University on a partial scholarship and worked at a coffee shop on weekends to cover the rest. No car, bus to class. Ramen noodles and determination. By 24, she had landed a junior copywriter position at a mid-sized advertising firm in downtown Nashville called Bright Lane Creative. It wasn't glamorous. But it was a foot in the door. And Maya Collins knew exactly what to do with an open door's name was Ryan Holt. He walked into Bright Lane Creative as the new creative director when Maya was 26, tall, confident, the kind of man who made every room feel smaller just by entering it. He noticed Maya's work immediately. Not her. Her work. He pulled one of her campaigns off the board in a meeting and said in front of everyone, "Whoever wrote this, I want them on my team." Maya raised her hand. Ryan smiled, and that was the beginning of everything. Within 6 months. They were the most talked about creative duo in the office. Maya's words, Ryan's vision. Together they pitched campaigns that won the firm 3 new major clients. Within a year. They were also in love. She knew it was complicated. Dating a superior, she knew the rules, she knew the risks. But Ryan made her feel like she had finally arrived somewhere safe. You are the most talented person in this building, he told her one night on his apartment rooftop in Midtown. And one day the whole world is going to know it. She believed him. That was her first mistake. In the spring of her 28th year, Maya wrote, "The best thing of her career, a full brand campaign for a national healthcare company called Vantage Health. It was personal, raw. She drew from her mother's story, from watching her mom work double shifts without insurance, from sitting in waiting rooms as a kid praying the bill wouldn't be too high. She poured everything into it. Every late night, every revision, every single word chosen like it mattered because to Maya, it did. Ryan presented it to the Vantage Health executives, but Maya wasn't in the room. Ryan had told her the meeting was pushed to next week. It wasn't. The campaign won a $2.4 million contract for Bright Lane Creative. The executives loved it. The CEO personally called the firm to congratulate them. And in every email, every press release, every internal announcement, the campaign was credited to Ryan Holt, not Maya Collins. Not a single mention. She found out on a Thursday morning when she walked past the conference room and saw her campaign framed on the wall with Ryan's name on the bottom. She stood there for a long time. Long enough for her coffee to go cold. Long enough for something inside her to quietly break. She went to Ryan's office and closed the door. He didn't look surprised to see her. That was the part that hurt the most. He already knew she would find out. He had already prepared what to say. Maya, I want you to listen to me carefully. Your name wasn't on the final submission because legally the work belongs to the firm. I presented it. That's how this works. You told me the meeting was next week, she said. Silence. Ryan, you told me it was next week. He leaned back in his chair, needed to control the narrative in the room. You get emotional. You know that. I was protecting the pitch. 6 months of her soul. Her mother's story, her pain turned into art. And he called it protecting the pitch. Did you ever love me? She asked. He didn't answer fast enough. And that silence was the loudest thing she had ever heard. She resigned that afternoon, walked out of Bright Lane Creative with a box of her things and $43 in her checking account. No job. No credit for her best work. No relationship, just a box and a bus ride home. Maya disappeared for a while. That is the only way to describe it. She moved back to her mom's house on the east side of Nashville. Her old bedroom, The same faded curtains from high school. The same view of the neighbor's fence. Asterisk, her mom didn't ask too many questions. She just made sure there was food in the house and the lights stayed on. Asterisk, Maya applied for jobs. 14 applications in 3 weeks. 2 callbacks, 0 offers. Word travels fast in a small creative industry. Ryan had quietly made sure of that too. Asterisk, she started to wonder if she had imagined her own talent. If Mrs. Patterson was just being kind, if the campaign was only good because of Ryan's direction and not her words at all. Asterisk, she stopped writing. Asterisk, for someone like Maya, that was like stopping breathing. Asterisk, she would sit at the small desk in her childhood bedroom and open a blank document and stare at it. Asterisk, nothing came. Just the cursor blinking over and over. Asterisk, like a heartbeat that didn't. No, it was supposed to stop. Asterisk, she gained weight. Stopped going outside. Started watching other people's lives on Instagram like they were living on a different planet. Asterisk. One night her mom knocked on her door and sat on the edge of her bed. Asterisk, she didn't say anything motivational. Asterisk, she didn't tell Maya to get up and fight. Asterisk, she just held her daughter's hand in the dark and said, asterisk, you cried like this when you were 7 and lost your favorite book. And then you wrote your own. Asterisk, Maya didn't respond. But something moved. Deep and quiet. Asterisk, something moved. Asterisk, she opened her laptop the next morning, not to apply for jobs, not to email anyone, just to write 1 sentence. That was all she promised herself. Just 1 sentence. Maya, she wrote, asterisk, the most dangerous thing a woman can do is believe someone else's version of her story. She stared at it. Then she wrote another sentence. Then another. Asterisk, 3 hours later, she had written 4,000 words, raw, honest, painful, beautiful, a full essay about what happened, about Ryan, about her mother, about the campaign, about the east side of Nashville and the faded curtains and the blinking cursor. Asterisk, she didn't plan to post it anywhere. Asterisk, she had a small personal blog she hadn't touched in 2 years. 43 followers, mostly college friends who had forgotten to unfollow. Asterisk, she posted it at 11:47 p.m. on a Tuesday, then she went to sleep. She woke up to her phone buzzing. Not once, constantly. Asterisk, she had 340 notifications on her blog. Then she refreshed, 580, then 1,200. Then her phone rang, a number she didn't recognize. Then another. Asterisk, someone had shared her essay on Twitter. Then a journalist picked it up. Then a podcast reached out. Asterisk, then a literary agent named Claire Huang from New York City sent her an email with the subject line, asterisk, I have been waiting to find writing like this for 3 years. Asterisk, Maya sat on the edge of her childhood bed. Asterisk, in the room with the faded curtains. And she cried, but not the same kind of crying as before. This was different. This was the kind of crying that feels like releasing something you have been holding for so long your arms forgot what it felt like to be empty. Asterisk, Claire Huang was not exaggerating. Asterisk, she flew Maya to New York in the fall. They had coffee at a small place in the West Village. Claire slid a piece of paper across the table. Asterisk, a book deal offer. A real one. From a real publisher. Asterisk, Maya's book, The Narrative, came out 14 months later. A memoir mixed with essays about creative theft, identity, survival, and rebuilding. It debuted at number 4 on the New York Times bestseller list. Asterisk, by the following spring, it was number 1. Asterisk, she did interviews on NPR, on morning shows, in The Atlantic. Everywhere people were talking about Maya Collins and her words and the story behind the story. Asterisk, Bright Lane Creative lost the Vantage Health contract that same year. The client found out the campaign's true origins after Maya's book released. They pulled out immediately. Reinhold resigned quietly. No press release, no announcement, just gone. Here is the part of the story that most people don't know. Asterisk, before the book came out, before the bestseller list, before any of it, Maya sent Reinhold a copy of the manuscript, not to threaten him, not to warn him, not for revenge. She included a handwritten note on the inside cover. It said, asterisk, you told me I was the most talented person in the building. You were right. Thank you for making me prove it to myself. She never heard back from him. She didn't need to. Asterisk, because here is what. Maya Collins understood that Ryan Holt never did. You cannot steal a voice. You can take the words on a page. You can put your name on a campaign. You can control a room and a narrative and a relationship. Asterisk, but the voice that created those words, that lives inside the person, and it cannot be framed and hung on a wall. Asterisk, it cannot be submitted in someone else's. Name it grows back every single time. Asterisk, Maya Collins speaks at conferences now. Asterisk, she talks to young writers, young women, young people from East Nashville and South Chicago and West Baltimore who grew up eating macaroni and cheese and riding buses and believing that talent alone would protect them from the world. Asterisk, she tells them the truth. Asterisk, it won't. Talent is not armor. People will take from you, people you love, people you trust, people who smile at you on rooftops and tell you the world will know your name. Asterisk, sometimes they are the ones who try hardest to make sure it doesn't. Asterisk, but here's what she also tells them. Asterisk, every time someone tried to erase Maya Collins, she came back louder. Not angrier, not bitter. Asterisk, just louder. And the world eventually has no choice but to listen. They can steal your work, they can steal your credit, they can steal your confidence for a season, asterisk, but they cannot steal the part of you that keeps writing in the dark. Asterisk, that part. Asterisk, that part was never theirs to take.
Subscribe for more.